All right, so as you know, first and foremost, realizing where you are stuck is one of the most important things for us to find out here. Okay, so don't be afraid of this. This is not to say that you've been doing it wrong all along. This is not to beat yourself up about it. But what I do always say is when you know better, you can do better. And coming to the realization will allow us to know, right? So this is with compassion, but we need to find it out. All right, so I always make a list. And that list, number one, I ask myself, what takes a lot of my time, right? So if you think about the things that you do the most in a month, let's say a month, if you want 2 months, if that's too much, a week. If that is too little, 2 weeks. You get my point. You decide the time frame, but be a bit realistic about it. For me, I would take at least a month and maybe even two because our months are a little bit different. So sometimes we have an event, sometimes we don't, etc. So, or you can take it on a project, but I wouldn't necessarily do that. So I would really take it on a timeline. And then you ask yourself, in all honesty, what takes a lot of my time? So what takes a lot of your time? And you start writing those things down. So one line per item, social media, writing blogs, marketing, for example, or admin tasks, whatever it is. Let me get a highlighter here. Admin tasks, client follow-up, Googling, doodling, so not doing a lot. Let's be very honest. Looking on my iPad, I had a client when they become paralyzed, it becomes overwhelming. They go and they take their iPad and they start Netflixing. This is honesty, and this is exactly what we need and want for you, right? Maybe it is drafting advices. That takes a lot of my time, for example, right? So what takes a lot of your time? Pause this video, and go ahead and make that for you. Make that list. Let it be as long as you want and you feel that it is, as long as you're fruitful about it. Okay, so that is your exercise. Press pause and let's do it. Hopefully you have done your exercise. You have been through all of the things that are the things that you do, right? So you know what takes a lot of your time. Okay, you've already heard me say this, you will hear me say this so much. Time is your highest currency in the growing phase, okay? Time is your highest currency. Why? You can do with your time, you can only spend your time once, just like you can only spend your energy once. Now, what are you spending your time on? Are you spending it on the things that are going to help you to get to where you are going? Or are you spending your time on things that, I'm going to say it here, you like to do, but are not getting you to where you want to go? And I'm also sorry to bring this bad message to you, but in your business, welcome to the world of business. No one asks you if this, what you need to do, is something that you like. Because in a growing business, you can't always do what you like. When you are ready to outsource, when you are ready to get a whole team, then maybe we can talk about that. But at this point in time, it is also about working on those things, spending your time on things that you may not like as much, but will get you miles further than the thing that you are doing now that you are really loving and liking. Sorry to bring this message, but it's in love. Yes, but no, what I find is important is for you to click right here, but also right here, that time is your highest currency. Spend it well, spend it wisely. So what you will do now next is that you have your list on what takes a lot of your time, right? Awesome. You've been unapologetic about it. You've been brutally honest, right? And you have your list. Now, what is going to be important is that on the other side of that, you write down what the added value of that activity is for your growth. Again, because time is your highest currency, right? So what that means is if you are on social media, if social media takes a lot of your time, and be more specific. So for example, doodling in Canva, is that adding the right value for your business, for your growth? So let me give you an example of mine. In the beginning, I was doodling a lot in Canva. First and foremost, it was the first time that I hopped on a application like that. Oh, I was crazy about it. But when I really started looking at the added value for my growth, it wasn't doing as much, right, as I thought it was, or as I knew that it was. What, for example, was helping me was something else, being on LinkedIn, and that had nothing to do with Canva. That was a totally different format, right? So I want you to, for each exercise that you have placed, right, on that you have identified what takes a lot of your time, I want you on the other side of that, ask yourself, what's the added value to my growth for that? What's the added value to my growth for that? Because sometimes, if you are really honest, it might not be of such added value. So I want you to pause again. We're also at the end of this video, and I want you to think about it and to write it down. Again, activity on one side, so what takes a lot of your time on one side, and then on the other side, what's the added value to your growth. And of course, you already understand the direction that we're going. Not everything can have a high added value, right? And if you're really honest, then you know that not everything has an added value, has an equal added value. And secondly, if you are doubting, throw it in the community. Ask us. Let's do it. All right? You've got this.